Hi, Leo. So I decided I'm just going to do one water, one air, one earth, and then, you know, earth, air, fire, and water, one of each. So I just did Cancer, so we're going to do Leo's next. Let's see what you guys have coming towards you. I'm going to use my universe cards first, and then we'll get some clarifiers with the Rider Waite Tarot deck. And I also think I'm going to use my Amun Ra Tarot for some advice for you guys or further clarification depending on what we see. Okay, these two just kind of fell out, but I'm going to go ahead and shuffle anyway because I know some people like to see the shuffle happen on camera. Let's see what we've got. Okay, star cluster or friends in reverse. Woo! Okay, interesting. So all of these stayed in their original except for this fell out. So I'm going to go ahead and use nebula, star death, or transformation. I've got the brown dwarf of failure. And then supernova, culmination. All right, so this is actually quite interesting. I was just telling the Cancers that we just got a kind of an alarm on our phone here saying that we've got a huge blizzard going on outside, so we're not able to actually go anywhere. And I also got a call from the school saying that, the kids have to do remote learning today for different reasons than what they've been doing remote learning, and that's because of the blizzard. So in any case, star cluster friends came out in reverse. So you may be missing your friends, or at least this actually really does look like a blizzard. This could actually be something that you feel completely covered by the outside world, the weight of the world and the star clusters around you, rather than being able to offer a friendship. You're going to have to just kind of be self-reliant at this time for the time being until all of this kind of mistiness has dispersed. So nebula, transformation, which is star death. So this is a good thing. It just means that, obviously if this is star clusters, then it's saying that, there's actually a nebula is the birthing center or the death center, the hospice, I guess it would be opposite, for star clusters or whatever. So I'm just saying this is being a very temporary pause, just because this is a cluster and this is a nebula. So I'm just saying, obviously there is not going to be much transformation in friendships at the moment. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on if you enjoy your friends group or not. And it's because of an eye or a specific focus being put on the actual creation or destruction of something in that star cluster. So just because we have a blizzard outside today, I also am just hearing that, safety is something that could possibly be in question here. Sometimes you don't feel safe in your friendships. Sometimes you do. Excuse me, I'm just, you guys might not be able to stomach the fact that you can't see your friends at the moment, or that there have been continuous reasons, COVID, blizzards, or whatever else might be going on in your friendship circle, that has caused these hiccups or these bumps in the road, for you to kind of taken your focus off of transformation of a friendship group or friendship circle at this time. The brown dwarf of failure came out, and I'm just saying, like I was saying before, this does not feel permanent at all. It feels like there's some small, tiny little disruption or something in the kind of coming out of the shadows a little bit of a friendship that may or may not have been an issue for you. I know certainly in my lifetime, when there have been, disruptions in my friendships, then it's usually an issue that can be discussed and then move through it. If it's not, then it's usually not even worth spending time, space, or energy trying to argue about or trying to rectify if the issue has been, large enough and dark enough that it's actually eclipsed the actual friendship itself, and that's definitely a failure in a big way when that happens. But just because of the fact that this guy is here, kind of peeking his head out, and there's this one singular eye that probably is part of this cluster here, then I'm just seeing that there could be one little thing that is potentially slowing down the culmination of whatever situation that you're going through right now. So a supernova definitely is it's a huge explosion. So I mean, this really goes along with the weather outside today, and I'm literally going to go ahead and stick with that. Until the blizzard is over, we're not able to remove our cars from our garages and be able to move within our circles of friends easily, because it's too muddled or too misty, too violent a storm out there for us to try to overcome by ourselves. So even though this also says, friendship transformation in reverse, and that there was a failure in that, there could also just be, a failure in ability to come to a resolution today. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm hearing here, is that it's not, I'm seeing almost a waterfall, and this one seriously bright part of the star cluster. So one portion of the star cluster may have exploded, and because of that explosion, it might not be safe, or it might not be, maybe one of those stars was going through a death of some type. And because of that death of some type, it was a failure to maintain this complete focus of energy through the otherwise stable friendship transformations that we go through transformation every day in friendship. You can take a look at, friends who work together on teams, friends who work together just in the social world, friends who work together doing, developing love situations, whatever situation this was with a group of people. I'm just saying two groups of people in specific here, just because of this nebula here. It could, obviously there's always a chance that we could fail. But I mean, if I did, dance for many years, and although it is possible to fall on stage or to make a mistake on stage alongside your friends, it doesn't mean that you're not good dancers. It just means that you got to pick yourself up from your failure and come to a conclusion and finish the show. The show must go on, is what I'm hearing. And I think that's potentially what I'm seeing here for you, Leo. Let me go ahead and pull some Rider-Waite Tarot deck to see what we can get for clarifiers. Okay. Those all wanted to come out at one time. I did go ahead and, all right. Yeah, it just looks like for the time being, you may not be moving forward in a specific manner with your friends. You could be doing something more independently. It could be a situation where you need to take some time away from other people, places, or things. The Nebula Star Transformation, the actual title card came out for the Rider-Waite. Ooh, a lot of cards just came out, so I'm not going to take all of those just because it's it's a whole mouthful. But so let's get two more, and then I will go ahead and interpret for you guys. Okay. So it looks like obviously that if you're not able to move forward at this time with your friends, then there could also be this kind of a transformation of a title, or no transformation of a title, a lack thereof. Oftentimes when you're changing schools. Okay, I'm going to take those. Okay. All right. So I actually had 5 come out here, but let me just go ahead and show you guys. So interestingly enough, for the friends in reverse card, then what I got was not moving towards any kind of a title change or any kind of a recognition of, I put that Apple sticker there just because I like to think about these cards as having a life of their own. So you might have to be a little bit more independent at this time, is what I'm saying. That the cluster of stars may have come to an end of some type, or at least come to a place where they're not able to stand alone without your independence as well. So each of you have your own computer at this point, and are doing, homeschooling with your child, or, remote learning. And because of that remote learning, bottom of the deck here is the Ace of Cups overflowing. That just seems to be a more effective way to teach our children how to live independently with a family unit, intact in a family unit, but also having exposure to others and being able to interact with a title and in a friend circle typically. But today is obviously not one of those days because of the blizzard outside. And then for the next 3 cards, for transformation in reverse, I actually got, we're not accepting that. So even though there's a blizzard, and even though you're going to have to continue online learning, it doesn't mean that you're not going to school. It doesn't mean that you're not accepting a normal track of life. It doesn't mean that things cannot progress or continue to be presented or received in a certain way. And it's a lack of acceptance that there is no transformation, or there is no star death here. So instead of letting your light kind of completely extinguish itself, we're still asking our children to stimulate themselves, to actually, go to school, show up in the classroom, etc., etc. And we're not accepting the fact that even though COVID is taking place and the blizzard is happening, that, this is still something that has to happen. So life is not going to stop just because a tragedy takes place, or some type of a hurdle happens, or because we're left in the cold as humans. So that's kind of what I'm getting off of this. For the brown dwarf of failure, it just looks like this is number 9. 9 of Swords. So you could be feeling a lot of grief, you could be feeling really disappointed. There is potentially something. I know I always used to love going to school for PE class, for recess, and like for most of the social sports, lunchtime, woodworking, art class, music, all of the extracurriculars. There are reasons why children want to be available for other children, and there's reasons why adults want to be available for their friends. Maybe during this time you've had a lot more time with your significant other, or with your working on a project that you've been wanting to work on for a really long time. And because, nobody's going to school today and hasn't been going to school for a while, and because this blizzard is happening outside, maybe you're not able to go outside and do yoga, or take a run, or do some of the things that you've been looking forward to, like gardening, or go pick up a book from a library, or something like that. So there could be a plethora of reasons that this feels like a failure, and that you could be disappointed about it. Maybe you were planning on going to do groceries and you've been putting it off all week, and now you've got to put it off even further. Something like that, I don't know what could be happening, but it's definitely a small thing in comparison to the big picture. So just keep that in mind. And like I said before, this does not feel permanent whatsoever. It just feels like a temporary letdown, or especially given that this was, directly after you're just not accepting that you're feeling disappointed about something, or not accepting that there was potentially harm or, hurt done. Like you could do the same for yourself if you were to try to go outside right now. So I do know, sometimes it's disappointing to not be able to drive anywhere because there's 3 feet of snow. But at the same time, imagine the car accidents that would be taking place if everybody was out there driving at the same time or something like that. So just keep in mind that sometimes your rejection is your protection, and that sometimes you got to look at it more so as a blessing than as something that you're not able to achieve. So culmination is the last card here with the supernova, and it did come out with the 3 of Wands in reverse. So it just means that there's not an end to this at the moment. You're not able to move forward until whatever is making you feel like your friends and your like this kind of blizzard mindset here is stopping you, until the snow has melted a little bit, and until you have figured out for yourself how you want to move forward and what you want to do about feeling disappointed on things before, it's going to be difficult to move forward. So I'll just give you one more example. If I know for myself, I really like to run. Not so much lately, but just running in general seems to be a very cleansing mindset. I like going to the gym. I like meeting new people. I like to do Zumba classes, etc., etc. All of these things are fun, right? But if you're feeling disappointed because you're going to miss your Zumba class, you might just, you're not going to be able to go to Zumba until all of the snow has finished falling, until the CDOT has actually plowed the streets for you here, and until we're able to get back out there in our own vehicles to get to class. So I just that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that this could be more of a superficial read for you today, Leo. Not such a deep, hard-hitting message is what I'm getting, but just more so trying to figure out for yourself, the ways that you can maybe work out at the house, or do some sit-ups, or look up on YouTube a workout class that you could do on your living room floor or something like that instead. I don't know. Let me just grab you guys about 2 cards from here to get some advice, please. No, it's perfect. Okay. So, what came out here was divine sight in reverse, help in reverse, and listening in the upright. So, divine sight, obviously when there's a blizzard going on and you can't see your friends and you don't know what's, nothing is going to be way too clear for a little while, until all of I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's going through my head. You might need to do the same for the snow or for the sleet or whatever is happening in your area. So obviously it's going to be difficult to see your way through until a path is made for you. And at the moment, because we are stuck in the house, there is going to be a failure for a moment. There's not going to be any help coming through until after the snow has started to melt a little bit, or at least until it stopped coming down. For CDOS to go out there and plow and plow and plow again, it can be a little bit tiresome, and I'm sure that they don't want to endanger their employees any more than we want to endanger ourselves. So this could be an example of that. So although you can kind of look at it as like, panic mode, no help is coming, and that's a failure. That's actually just, it's a temporary failure. It's a temporary lack of visibility for us. And just remember that the world is still out there, that even though you can't see more than 50 feet in front of your house at the moment, and that the plows will be coming to scrape for you. And keep in mind that you just have to keep on listening to the radio or to the whatever higher power. You can pray about it if you need to, if this kind of weather is really normal for people in Colorado. But in other places like Atlanta, I know for a fact that you guys have complete panic attacks, everyone goes to the liquor store and then locks themselves in the house for the rest of the day. And if there was this much snow outside, I'm pretty sure the whole city would have some type of like a epic meltdown. So in any case, just continue to listen to the news, and you will hear eventually that there's a culmination of all of this, traffic, weather failure, and this inability to reach our family and friends the way that we'd like to. So that's all I've got for you today, Leo, and I will definitely be back a little bit later to help you guys figure out what comes next. Bye.